The rear is easy, straightforward, one at a time, or one side per time. Unbolt the rear support or axle clamp and replace with the new supplied axle clamps. And then up here, there's gonna be a plastic alignment pin. Just gonna sand that down, cut it flush. You could probably actually squish it in here, but just sand it off, it's easy. Put these in loosely. Assemble these with the bolts facing out. The bottom can face in if you want, but I like them facing the same direction. And you want these facing this way, mainly because on the other side with the fuel tank, this is not going, you don't want this sticking out that direction. So assemble this loosely, or you can tighten it up on a bench. You can put this assembly into here and then put this on loose. Make sure the plastic pin has been shaved, and then with it loose, before you start tightening it up, there's 2 plates per side that go in here, and just put them in flush. They can't come out because of the shape of the leaf spring. They may move around like these ones have, but they cannot come out. Once they're in there, tighten these up evenly. Make sure you have this pulled towards you. On the frame side, that's just how it is. We got a wide leaf spring, and the frame perch isn't pushed off that far, but they won't rub. They shouldn't rub. Like I said, just make sure this is pulled towards you. Make sure these stay inside, and then start tightening this up. You can go pretty dang tight on this. It's meant to conform to this spring to a degree. You're gonna put some pressure on this thing. That way it can't slide forward. These plates keep this bracket from being able to get pushed forward from the bar because of the shape of the leaf spring. It can't slide forward anymore, and they're not going to slide back because that's not the way the axle works. Once this is in, then the rear is tight, the bar can go in. And how I like to set the bar up is about this much, it's a finger width worth of room at your ride height you're gonna run. If it's gonna be hooked to a trailer almost all the time, I would hook the trailer up to it and then set this. If it's only gonna have a trailer on it maybe once every 4 months, say, or more, or it's a really light trailer, then I would set it without any load on it, just how the truck sits, and about a finger gap. This allows because as the suspension cycles up, or you hit bumps and stuff, these guys move around, and this is how I know this. I set these things tight right off the bat, and they rode rough. So once I got back, I loosened these up, or dropped it out, loosened these up, pulled it back a little bit, and put them back in. The ride came back, and we could do burnouts on the dually tires with a flatbed that weighs a bunch. With no wheel hop. I've put it under full torque load with the towing the dyno and towing the pull truck, which they both weigh right about the same, between 14,000 and 16,000 pound trailer weight or load weight, not included. That's how that goes. Yeah, it's really simple. Like I said, put the rear on first, and then assemble the cantilever section into the mounting plate and tighten that on a bench. They're nylocks. You do not have to go super crazy tight. Make sure you grease these before you put them in. I use just a C-clamp to squeeze them together. They are a tight fit. From there, make sure when you put the bar ends in, I would anti-seize all the bolts. This is already anti-seized from me. The rod ends are already anti-seized for me because I checked fitment on them. But put anti-seize on everything. Everything is nylocks for longevity and ease of use. You don't have to worry about it coming loose. This is a 9/16 12 point or thin wall. Fits right up inside of here. 9/16 thin wall, deep. Go right through this hole. You can tighten this guy up. I left everything loose in case you want to disassemble and get it painted or powder coated. I also left it loose but partially put together so you can see where everything goes. Minimize confusion. Like I said, those two plates, they go here. You could stack them up and they may move around, but they cannot escape. I promise. So bolts facing out. The lowers can go either direction. I faced them in on the bottom. The big thing is the setting. If it's going to be hooked up to a trailer 95% of the time or 90% of the time, or like it's just always hooked up to a trailer, make sure to set this gap up with a trailer load on it. If it's not going to be hooked to a trailer very often, then set this gap without the load on it. But yeah, very straightforward. Like I said, don't be afraid to get tight on these things. They're not going to break. Make sure the coned part of the washer on the lock washer on the top is facing up. It's a Belvedere lock washer. You don't got to worry about the split locks splitting. Rock and roll, go do burnouts, go tow trailers with maximum torque output. Won't have any wheel hop issues. They're pretty cool to watch. Once you're done, if you want to take a jack and jack the rear of the truck up and watch these move, it's pretty neat. I was gonna make a video myself showing them moving around, or stick a GoPro under here while I was driving to show them operating. Just haven't got to it, just one guy, so always something going on that takes away from something else as far as footage and editing and all that stuff goes. But very simple. No drilling, no welding. If anything, there might be some sanding, but I had zero issues on either side with how the brackets come.